So, you have decided to buy the new BMW G30 5 Series, but you cannot decide between the BMW 530i or the 530e, which is a plug-in hybrid. So in this video, we want to help you make the ultimate purchase decisions, because both these cars are bloody awesome to drive. From the outside, both these cars are almost identical, except for a few key differences which to regular people on the street may not seem like a big deal, but the devil is in the details. So it takes a very keen eye to know the differences. Start with the headlights. Now the headlights between the two may look almost the same. I use the word almost because the 530i features something called laser headlights, which is the top of the line, the most advanced headlights in the market right now. In fact, I dare say it is BMW that probably makes the best headlights in the market right now, thanks to those laser headlights. The 530e, however, gets your regular run-of-the-mill LED headlights, which is not that bad, but the laser headlights are always better. How do you tell the two apart? See this blue strip over here? This is how you tell the laser headlights apart from the LED lights, because this just looks like regular headlights. From the exterior, both the cars are almost identical, because both the 530e and 530i come with M Sport Bodykit. However, there's one key difference, and that's this cutout over here, because the 530i comes with adaptive cruise control with stop and go function, where else, if you notice the 530i, there's nothing at the bottom. Both cars come with 19-inch wheels wrapped in Bridgestone tyres. However, there's a slight difference in ride height, because the 530i comes with M Sport suspension with a lowered spring. However, the 530e doesn't have the M Sport suspension with lowered spring, so it rides a little bit higher. Both cars come with adaptive suspension, so the suspension adjusts to the driving mode that you're in. That results in a more comfortable ride for the 530e, where else the 530i feels a little bit firmer simply because of that M Sport suspension. Now I know the engines may not look the same. One has twin power turbo written on it, where else the other has e-drive written on it. But I will show you that these two are just covers, because this and this is the same B48 2-litre turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. In terms of power outputs, they are vastly different. The 530i produces 252 PS and 350 Nm of torque. This is mated to a ZF 8-speed gearbox and is good for a 0 to 100 sprint of about 6.4 seconds. The 530e though is backed up by an electric motor, but by itself the engine produces 184 PS and 300 Nm of torque. However, because there's an electric motor somewhere in there, the power goes up to 252 PS, which is identical to the 530i, and the torque though is rated at 420 Nm. However, having said that, there's the 530e also packs an extra boost function. It really is called that, extra boost. So with the extra boost function, which is accessible through a driving mode or in manual transmission, you get an additional 41 PS, which for just about 10 seconds, you only get extra boost for about 10 seconds. But this is good for 0 to 100 sprint of 5.9 seconds. There's only 0.5 seconds separating the 530i and 530e. But in terms of fuel efficiency, the 530e obviously will trump the internal combustion engine of the 530e because this is better suited for fuel economy. So in terms of the interior between the 530e and 530i, it's nearly identical. Again, nearly. You get the same sports bucket seats wrapped in Vanasca leather, which is very nice because you can adjust the side bolstering, which is perfect for attacking corners. You get the same dark brushed aluminium trim between the 530e and 530i. Same, the piano black, as much as I hate it, it's the same between the 530e and 530i. However, there are some key differences, such as the panoramic roof. It's not the same it's not a full panoramic roof, however, it's still a panoramic roof. In the 530i, you also get a banging 16-speaker Harman Kardon sound system, guys. It's brilliant, it's fantastic, it sounds amazing. And there's one more very subtle but also a key difference. It's this ambient lighting over here. The ambient lighting between the 530e and the 530i is vastly different. Let me show you. So guys, this is what I mean. Right now I'm seated in the 530e and voila, it's the same as the 530i. Key differences though. However, before I get to that, I'd like to bring your attention to this tan leather seats inside, the tan leather interior. Such a nice place to be in, especially in this color. It really makes the interior look quite plush, much more in fact than the black leather of the 530i. I really like this tan leather, it makes it look very premium. So that aside, as you can see, everything else is the same. You don't get a panoramic roof though, and the ambient lighting is, well, it just looks a little bit more cheap as compared to the 530i. Of course, you also don't get the 16-speaker Harman Kardon sound system. For me, the sound system is important simply because you spend a lot of time in the interior of your car. But again, everything else is the same, and I really appreciate the fact that both cars come with wireless Apple CarPlay. So you don't always have to worry about carrying your cables around now. And you also get a charge pad. Both cars come with charge pads, so you get wireless Apple CarPlay and you get a wireless charge pad. So you don't have to stress about carrying your cables around. Brilliant. I know there are many different brands of fuels out there. You can either get it right where it works for life, or you can get it incredibly wrong. And that's where BH Petrol and its Infinity RON 95 and RON 97 Euro 4M are different from the rest. How is it different, you may ask? Well, BH Petrol uses the latest generation German additives to provide the perfect support for modern engines. This additive is specially formulated to work with modern engines. It's designed to keep your fuel injectors clean and to prevent them from blocking up. Besides that, the Infinity RON 95 and Infinity RON 97 Euro 4M fuels also have enhanced corrosion inhibitors. These range of petrols also reduce friction between the piston and the engine walls. This translates into reduced energy loss, giving you instant and consistent fuel savings. And that is why you will never go wrong with BH Petrol's Infinity RON 95 and RON 97 Euro 4M. It is the right choice. Now both cars share a lot of similarities, but the 530i is obviously running in a fully internal combustion engine, whereas the 530e is actually a plug-in hybrid, which means it is backed up by batteries. The 530i runs solely on the internal combustion engine. However, having said that, both the 530e and 530i have the same B48 engine. That's the engine code, B48. So what that means is this engine, actually it's quite an old engine. I think it's been around for the past 10 years or so. So it's tried and tested and it has proven its worth. It's mated to a 8-speed ZF gearbox, and it's a four-cylinder engine, 2.0 4-cylinder engine, turbocharged of course, and it produces about 252 PS and 350 Newton meters of torque. And both cars share that same engine. However, in the 530i, because of the M Sport suspension, it rides a little bit lower, and because of the lowered springs, it rides a little bit firmer. So even though it has adaptive suspension, which makes the suspension more comfortable or more firmer, and there's an adaptive mode also which analyzes the way you drive and adapts the characteristic of the car accordingly. But that aside, the 530i, it's a little bit on the firmer side as compared to the 530e. Yes, it's true, the 530e is a little bit more comfortable than the 530i. But having said that, I think the 530i has that more sporting prowess as compared to the 530e. I think this is still feels like a proper sporting non-M 5 Series. This is probably the best sporting 5 Series that you can get, sports 5 Series that you can get in Malaysia right now, without, you know, going down the M route. So in terms of driving fun, I think the 530i offers a more engaging kind of drive, even though the 530e has more power. Yes, the 530e obviously has more power because it's backed up by electric power lah. It has batteries, right? So naturally, in terms of acceleration, the 530e feels a bit more urgent. However, because the brakes on the 530i do not have to take on the responsibility of regenerating the batteries, so it feels more direct and more connected to the brakes of the car. So the pedal actually feels a little bit more alive, where else the 530e feels just a little bit too soggy. So in corners, even though the 530e has more power, but because of the M Sport suspension in corners, the 530i feels a lot more alive, feels a lot more engaging. It feels like it's telling you a lot more things, and it's a lot more planted as compared to the 530e. Now the 530e is somehow vastly different in terms of driving dynamics than the 530i. I know this is quite a blasphemous thing to say because, hey, the technical sheet says that both cars are almost identical, but the keyword here is almost identical. Again, like the 530i, this car too uses the same B48 4-cylinder 2-liter turbocharged engine, you know, mated to the same 8-speed ZF gearbox. Now, however, keep in mind that this is a hybrid powertrain, so it has batteries and electric power to back up the engine and even provide more support in terms of power. So the engine alone by itself produces 184 PS and 300 Newton meters of torque. But with the battery and the hybrid system, that figure goes up to 252 PS and 420 Newton meters of torque. This thing has an additional trick up its sleeve called the extra boost mode. The extra boost mode gives about 41-42 PS more for a good 10 seconds. So for just good 10 seconds you get about 42 PS more. And this is accessible via the sports mode, or if you change if you shift the gear towards manual or sport mode lah. So the extra boost mode lets it do stuff like that. 0 to 100, 5.9 seconds. A full 0.5 seconds more faster, quicker than the 530i. So in that sense, the 530e produces more power, it's a lot more urgent in terms of performance, obviously accelerates quicker, but in terms of handling, I feel the 530i is nicer because of the M Sport suspension. Sure, this has adaptive suspension, so if I change it to sport mode, the ride gets firmer and you feel it immediately. But in the 530i, because it rides lower, so it lets you take corners with a lot more fun, actually, a lot quicker. It feels a lot more firmer, a lot taut in corners, where else the 530e feels like it was designed for comfort, for leisure. You can just cruise on the highways, you'll be comfortable, where else the I feel is a proper BMW, because BMWs are supposed to be about driving pleasure, and the 530i is a lot more pleasurable to drive than the 530e if you are the type that is into sports handling and such lah. So of course it also makes some funky sounds. So in sport mode, you know, it pipes through a more sports engine note. So, but it's obviously fake. Even in the 530i, it's obviously fake, because a 4-cylinder engine, especially in an executive saloon such as this one, doesn't sound that good. It never has sounded that good, you know. So it's just way too fake, but it sounds amazing lah. So if you're just a regular Joe in the street, I suspect, you know, you let somebody that doesn't know much about cars, you let them put the pedal to the metal in either the 530i and 530e, they might probably go, wow, that's some very nice engine sound, and they wouldn't be wrong actually. But I think only people in the know will know that is fake. So, big question, which should you spend your money on? Of course, that's very subjective, but let's think about it this way. The 530e offers better value for money. With a price tag of about 220,000 ringgit, BMW will give you a 2-year warranty. If you're willing to up that to 335,000 ringgit, BMW will give you a 5-year warranty together with the service package. The 530i costs about 370,000 ringgit with a 2-year warranty and 385,000 ringgit with a 5-year warranty plus a service package. So which should you spend your money on? Well, the 530e is better suited for the day-to-day runabout, a car for your family, you know, because it's better suited for comfort. Of course, it's incredibly fuel economical as well, and that all-electric range of about 40 to 50 kilometers would probably mean that you could go about your daily business on electric power alone without engaging the internal combustion engine, which is fantastic. The 530i offers a more sporting driving character. It feels fantastic in the corners. However, it's not as powerful, and it's slightly less comfortable than the 530e. If you like a car that offers a more engaging drive such as me, the 530i would be the car for you. The 530e though is a better all-rounder. For me, I also love the laser headlights as compared to the very regular LED lights. However, having to pay a lot more actually for the laser headlights, the panoramic roof, and just the small key differences here and there, I think that's a lot of money to pay. The 530e, in this sense, obviously is the better package. But if you want an engaging drive, the 530i is the car for you. As usual, thank you for watching. Let us know which car you would choose in the comment section below. And as always, if you've had your attention up until this point, do consider subscribing. Thanks again. I'm Kashi Dillon.